Greetings. This weather is crazy. It's been sunny, rainy. Now we've got a big storm going on outside. And I've spoken to people before about, I thought this was the end times coming, and still do in a way. Weather's changing, loads of volcanoes going off, loads of earthquakes happening throughout the world in the last couple of years. And then someone was saying to me, no, it's probably been happening forever. It's just we didn't have the way of telling each other of what was happening and about how there was an earthquake happening over on the other side of the world because we didn't have all the technology then. Nice bit of thunder, no lightning. And I was like, okay. And then I looked up some of the companies, I've forgotten the name of it now, of this earthquake monitoring place. And it did say that earthquakes are up by a huge amount in the last few years, that they've not seen so many since records of what they started monitoring earthquakes began. And it was apparently the same with volcanoes. I was watching a YouTube channel where a man monitors all the volcanoes that go off throughout the world, and he has been saying the same thing, that there's never been so many volcanoes going off in the last few years, in such a short period of time and at such, velocity. I don't know. Anyway, he says it's quite rare for this amount of volcanoes to be going off, so many of them. So it's like the weather is definitely changing in different ways, as we've known for many years. I know people like to put it down to climate change. Maybe it is climate change. I've always thought that climate change, I always knew that weather would change and that the seasons change and that, but we've sped it up with all our pollution and everything by thousands of years. So this would have happened in the end, but, it shouldn't be happening now. And I'm sure many people will turn against me on that, and it's all part of their agenda. But whatever happens, the earth isn't as it's supposed to be at the moment, is it? But as I've said in other shows, I feel like we're at a pivotal point in time for humanity and the planet Earth. Steiner and Gurdjieff were warning us about this, that this was coming, and that we needed to prepare humanity for a change. And humanity can either go up or down. And with its evolution, the planet will evolve. And with our devolution, which we don't want to happen, the planet will die out as well. Like humanity. Whatever happens to the humans do will happen to poor little planet Earth. She might survive in some kind of other way, but she might not continue in the involvement or the evolution that the divine source had planned for her. Which shows that everything is perhaps not fated. It's all down to what people do. I know there's many other animal species on this planet, and they were here to help nature do her thing. Everything eats itself, as Gurdjieff says. The bees are needed to keep the ecological system going, but so do all the other plants. About the bees, the rest of the ecology system falls apart, apparently. And I can see why. And as humanity helps extinguish many species, that's going to break down the ecological cycle of this planet. And we don't know what all these other animals, birds, bees, insects, fish are here for. They might have their own mission to be doing with the planet Earth. I think it's Steiner that says it, that the animals will evolve into humans at some point. And many people discuss that kind of thing, that animals will evolve. They're all going up the ladder. I'm still not sure about humans, whether humans originally came from animals or insects or whatever. Did we evolve from that? I personally think humans were manipulated and changed or put here for a special reason. I'm still in two minds as to whether it's the old Anunnaki story of the Anunnaki came down and needed some slaves to dig the gold, so they manipulated some of the gene pool of whatever human type creatures, or let's say biped creatures were here with their own DNA and then created us humans to be the slaves, or whether it was just all like it's written in the Bible and things. We were created by the divine source in his image or her image and given, the Garden of Eden to roam in, and then we were tempted out of that by the devil or the adversary, and who knows, but I do think that us humans are unique in a different way to how the other ecology of this life, plant life and animal life, goes on. I also like the idea that someone put out that actually this is a planet world and we are the food for the plants, you know, like they need the air we breathe out so they can breathe, and that then we can be the sustenance that goes back into their soil when we die, because we should be, you know, we should be buried. But if we're cremated, then we're turned into some kind of, you know, the ashes are spread around the planet to help them feed off. You know, maybe it's that. I quite like that theory. But one thing I do feel is that this is some kind of end times is going on, not necessarily the end of the planet, but at an evolutionary point, which is why I started making all these videos. You know, it all started quite a few years ago. And obviously other people also seem to pick up on that as well, because they all were making their videos. There's a change going on. And I wanted to encourage people to look at themselves and their souls and find their souls so they can help with the evolutionary process. I would like this planet to go up and be part of the evolutionary process and continue working for the divine. I also care very much for the animal kingdom, the insects and the fishes. You know, I'm not a vegetarian, but I do try to eat organic. I suppose my message for this message is mainly about how we need to be living with the planet and not on it for our own means. But I'm sure many of you are like that. I'm probably preaching to the converted, really, aren't I? Love our animals, love our plants. As you can see, I love my aloe vera. I've been going a bit crazy lately. I've had to give loads of it away because it's just too much of it. But the rain's beginning to stop and the thunder was ending. It's quite dark over there. And there was no lightning. That was quite weird. But it has been a weird weather day. Raining, sunny, heavy rain again, sunny, thunderstorms. All the birds are flying around. I saw a beautiful kite over here yesterday. We don't really get kites in this part. I'm in southeast London, so it was quite weird to see it. It looked quite young. We must love our animals and our birds and our plants and our fishes and our insects. And love each other. Till next time. Peace.